why I left YouTube and pretty much all of social media for the longest time.
I'm glad to be back. Let's freaking build. Sit there and like dance around and just start saying some stuff.
What is up,
everybody?
It has been so long since I recorded any type of video.
Here's my beautiful face.
You're welcome. Anyway, I need to cut out all of the ums. If I can't process my thoughts, I need to pause. I'm not used to making YouTube videos anymore, so you guys need to bear with me. Alright, this is the
second time I'm recording this damn video.
I recorded another one. I didn't like the video itself, so I was trying to do something else with the editing. I didn't like that. I am back for good. I will be trying to upload regular content. I got some things in the works. We'll talk about that a little later on in the video. But we'll start with this. I wrote down some bullet points because I ramble a lot and I want to make sure that I include certain things and just get them out. Why I left YouTube and pretty much all of social media for the longest time, other than I guess just interacting with people that are close to me. I had a lot of things going on in my life at the time, and it really affected my creativity, so I wasn't able to do what I wanted as much. For example, at a certain point, a few years ago, my ex-girlfriend was staying in the house with me. She ended up getting pregnant, and I was really trying to be a dad. I was working 12 plus hours, 7 days a week for a long time.
And then I got back into content creation, I think more with like
TikTok back a few years ago, and then I met the love of my life.
This was during the time my ex was pregnant.
There goes the ums. It was around the time my ex-girlfriend was pregnant that I met my current girlfriend and love of my life. There goes another
Soon after all of that, in August of
2021, my children were born. We had twins.
Not gonna get too much into that. I can get into that in different stuff, but that's not really the main focus of this video. This video is just to let anybody who may be paying attention to this channel anymore. I dropped a few videos here and there over
the years to just kind of see if people were kind of keeping an eye on the channel. They would get a few views here and there. I don't know if those were like from new people or
whatever the case.
Should get like an counter for my videos and then just leave them in there.
That's what I should do. I almost said again too, and I stopped myself. This counter might have become a thing.
Anywho, so after the twins were born, things started to get real rocky with the living situation.
I haven't recorded YouTube videos in so long, so it's not that I'm camera shy, it's more like I'm trying to formulate my thoughts, and help me do that for whatever reason. What the hell, man?
But the living situation at the time was getting real rocky in 2021, and I think that progressed for a while because
I don't really want to get too much into detail about things, but that progressed for a while that way.
Until I decided to go on a trip, and then whilst on that trip, my ex decided to move out with the twins.
The damn
Which I don't fault her for. I believe that if any woman is in any situation where they feel trapped and they can't get out, they should seize any opportunity that they can to get out. My mom did that when I was younger.
I'm not necessarily, well, I am pretty sure I know the reason why my ex decided to do it.
But not the topic of this video. I'm just explaining what happened to me, not everybody else involved.
These damn man, they're gonna kill me.
So, she moved out while I was on a trip. I came back to pretty much having to start over as a dad as well. And that took a bit of a toll on me for a little while. I'm not exactly sure how long that lasted, probably till the end of the custody battle. Because at first I was only able to see my kids one overnight a week and then every other weekend. So it was like a total of 5 days a month, which I was just simply not cool with. I did everything in my power to work as much as possible, continuing to do that. Got a lawyer, got through that custody battle, got 50-50. After that,
there really wasn't a lot going on. I was really focused on just being a dad. And that's honestly how it was for like a couple years. Like, I would write from time to time when I was feeling frustrated or felt like I didn't have anybody to talk to
about a particular subject or how I was feeling. And writing poetry has always helped me deal with my feelings. All the way back when I was 14 years old, it was an insane outlet for me at a young age, which is why I think later in life hip-hop became natural to me, because
what is hip-hop if not poetry to a freaking instrumental, right? Like, let's be completely real here.
Well, progressing, being a dad,
Jesus Christ, these ums. What are we gonna do about all these ums? Fuck, man.
I really focused on being a dad and trying to be the best partner I could be for my girlfriend, because she was going through her own things at the time. We both found each other in a bit of a difficult place in our life. I would think that both of us, we help the other one think more than we would without.
If that makes sense.
You know, like the thoughts that I don't necessarily have, she has. And the thoughts that she doesn't have, I have. So I feel like in some capacity, we complete each other.
That's, again, not what this is about. It's just kind of leading into this, kind of feeling into the story. And she's a big source of why I feel the way that I do today. And without her, I do not think that I would even remotely be considering attempting a music career.
Anywho, moving on.
There's another fucking we're taking a drink. We're just gonna try and do a drinking game, guys. You guys gonna do this with me? Yeah? Grab a drink. Anytime I say you gotta take a drink. I don't know if you're gonna see it because I'll probably edit all of them out in this part anyway, so. Who gives a shit?
So, I touched base on kids, Sandra, my girlfriend. Jesus Christ. At a certain point, I did start writing a little more regularly.
I want to say it was probably after my kid's second birthday.
This was last year. They're about to be 3 now.
The last song I released was about 3 years ago now, too. I believe it was sometime after they were born.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Soon after their second birthday.
Actually, it was before that.
It was way before that. I can't tell you exactly when, but at a certain point...
I don't remember what sparked it, but I know who sparked it. It was my girlfriend.
She said something. I
really wish I could recall exactly what she said.
But we had gotten off of the phone, and I don't remember what it was, but she said something to me.
Or, no, now that I think about it.
I said something to her, and it sparked a freestyle idea in my mind.
Because that's how I come up with a lot of my ideas. It's just play an instrumental. If I groove with it, I just sit there and like dance around and just start saying some stuff. I said in my brain. I'm learning. Fuck, no I'm not.
Anyway, we had a conversation. We had gotten off of the phone. I was at work that day. And I was sitting in my car. And I'm not sure why, but I just threw on a Nick D type beat.
And I don't remember if I told her about Nick D or she told me, but it was when Pineapple was blowing up.
But I just searched a Nick D type beat. I found an instrumental by Graham, of all people. And this is actually a funny story time that will lead a little further into this. But I worked really hard at creating this song. And then when I finally went to go record it, I realized that my laptop was busted. And at the time, I wasn't in any type of situation as far as financially to invest
in a new computer or anything like that.
And that was again like I feel like that was it was like a top for me, because back when I was doing music the first time, I didn't get a lot of support from a lot of people around me. People would check it out and they'd listen. They'd be like, oh yeah, you're pretty good. And then they would move on. And I've learned that a lot of people in your own life, personally, that you know, when you have something
and that person doesn't necessarily have a something,
they are less likely to be excited and very supportive of your something unless in some regard it benefits them.
So I got a lot more support online from people.
Which is kind of why I think the YouTube channel did so well when I was pushing it. I didn't get tons of views, but I got lots of support online and people would check it out, and YouTube was recommending my stuff to other people. When I couldn't create, like I'd taken a step back from everything because of everything that was happening, and then the moment I tried to get back into it, there was this negative thing. Well, there was a lot of negativity around me doing music the first time.
And I'm not saying necessarily from me, but just not feeling like I had support around me to let me know that what I was doing was, I guess, okay.
I felt like because I was so creative and I
don't mean this like negatively to anybody that is in my life personally,
but I don't think a lot of the people in my life are creatives. They are good people.
They are hard workers, a lot of them.
But they're not necessarily genuinely creative.
Like a lot of my friends are big gamers. They don't create video games. They play them.
There's another
I'm going off on a tangent here that does not matter and was not a point of the video, which is why I'm putting this here.
I used to have people like roll their eyes at me, and like something about me is I don't genuinely care what other people think, but if you are close to me, I do kind of care what you think.
So if you, I guess, blow off something in some capacity that means something to me, I guess maybe I took that a little personally. I didn't let those people know it.
And I wouldn't ever... I don't think I would ever actually tell any of them how they made me feel.
Well, they're subscribed to this channel. I guess if, they really care, they might end up knowing, won't they?
There's an Does that count as an Does an count as an All right, we're going to move on to a different talking point.
Jesus Christ.
So at a certain point, I did start feeling like I could get back into music, and that didn't work out because when I went to go record and set up my studio, I just didn't have the ability to record. It just felt like negativity after negativity, and anytime I would try to get back into music or anything like that, it just seemed like something negative was always happening in my life.
I, again, put it to the back burner. I was feeling real down about it.
I never really talked with anybody about it. I don't think so. I know I probably mentioned some of this offshootly to my girlfriend at some point. But usually I try to deal with my emotions and everything internally and formulate my thoughts and stuff because I know how I can be in the heat of the moment.
We're going to move on to the next talking point.
So after that happened and whatnot, I really dived into learning things that I enjoy, or just diving into things that I found interesting or learning. So for example...
Moist critical.
Coming out here flexing a little bit, letting you know how seriously I'm taking this challenge, so allow me to slip into something a little bit more comfortable. Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
I find his content extremely enjoyable. He's a top tier YouTuber in my book.
I watch a lot of his content because he brings like funny news stories.
Speaking of Charlie, I doubt you'll ever see this, but if you do see this, why isn't the Moist News Network posting stuff? I need some good news. Good news, Charlie.
Good news, bro.
Yeah, a little shout out to him if you happen to not know who he is. He does a lot of, he's a live streamer, he plays video games, he does all sorts of stuff, and I got really enveloped in his community to some capacity. Maybe not talking with people in his community, but commenting on his videos and really enjoying what he's doing.
At a certain point, he actually had started a D&D campaign with his friends, and I actually got inspired to do that and learn that as well. This was a little after my diving into bonsai.
Which, if you do not know, bonsai is growing... I think the actual translation for it is plant in a tray or plant in a pot. Bonsai is a Japanese term that roughly translates to tray in a pot or plant in a pot. Tray in a pot? Wow.
tree in a pot or plant in a pot. So tiny trees that look like big trees is a good way of saying it. I've always been fascinated with bonsai since I was a kid, and that was just like a no-brainer. A buddy of mine had been into it for a couple of years, and
I was like, oh, well, this is something I could learn about.
so I got into that. He gave me some trees.
I went hog wild learning that stuff for a whole 6-7 months.
When I have a fascination with something, like I will dive so deep into learning that. And that's what happened with bonsai.
Then there's a downtime. Most trees slow down or go dormant during the winter. So I live in Michigan. Winter comes in around, and I guess it really just depends on which year it is.
But at a certain point, there's a cold season. I had to move all my trees indoors. They barely ever needed to be watered. I didn't really have to pay attention to them. I couldn't do anything with them.
8th of January, and it's freezing cold. Look at the snow falling. It's only just started falling. I hope it won't pile up. But the trees are perfectly okay in this. So here you are.
I ended up coming across a YouTube channel called Game Maker's Toolkit.
Hi, my name's Mark, and I am making Mind Over Magnet, a cute puzzle platformer about, yes, it's true, magnets.
So if there's any gamers seeing this channel and you don't know who Game Maker's Toolkit is,
That guy is probably one of the best video game journalists that I've ever come across, and he pretty much makes video essays
about video games or video game mechanics or creating video games, game development, the inner workings of games. He'll talk to game developers and like interview them, and
it is an amazing watch on every single video I've ever seen of his.
So I definitely recommend Game Maker's Toolkit. Also, in the midst of learning game development, I was actually trying to learn game development. I got a computer, I was practicing in Unity, and I didn't get all the way to using the Unreal Engine. I was just dabbling with the free version of Unity for a while.
I made things move in cyberspace. That was super cool.
I was learning game coding and coding in general and learned a lot about computers that I just ultimately did not know, which is super cool. I had to let my computer go back.
Because at the time I couldn't justify keeping something that was costing me money and I was falling behind somewhere else. It just didn't make sense to me financially.
Other than that, I've taken lots of really cool trips over the years because my girlfriend, she lives in Pennsylvania. I do trips with her where either I'll go down there or she'll come up here, and we will just like have like an itinerary sometimes of things that we do.
We went to Chicago recently.
John Ball Zoo, which is...
We went to a zoo.
Sometimes we keep it easy. We'll just hang out. Like, I'll take a trip to her. She has a house where she lives with
our daughters, or 2 of our daughters. When I go down, Jesus Christ, all these uhs and ums.
When I go down there, I usually, we used to link up before we were involved with each other's families so much. We
would link up and we would just meet somewhere. Like the first time I ever met my girlfriend, we met in Pittsburgh and traveled around Pittsburgh. I'd never been to Pittsburgh before. It was an amazing experience. And I was meeting the only person at the time that I thought even remotely understood me, other than a few friends that I'd made over the years.
Because, to be honest, at a certain point, people just stop showing up.
Some of you, if you've been around for a while, you'll remember Cypher Sundays. I used to have those every Sunday, and then everything just kind of fell apart at a certain point. I think everything just stacking up sort of took a toll on me.
And I never really admitted it to myself until probably recently, probably over the past year or so. And I've also had to realize that people grow.
People change. And when people change and grow, you may not be in their growth plan.
It was a hard pill to swallow for the longest time for me because we were such a tight-knit group for years.
I've never really spoke about this, but it drastically took a toll on me not having any of my friends around. Like, I know COVID kind of took a toll on everybody, but this was slowly happening before COVID for me.
So moving past all of that, that's pretty much all I've been up to the past few years. I got a trip planned next month. I'm going to celebrate the twins' birthday. We're going to drive down. We got an Airbnb. We're going to meet about halfway because we thought it would be kind of cool to.
We haven't really done like a halfway trip since her ex-husband moved out.
And we've been able to not have to stay in hotels.
Now, I'm at a point in my life where I talked with Sandra a little bit and pretty much let her know that I've been writing a little more.
I really wanted to try pursuing music to some capacity.
Because when I have something that I'm passionate about, I'm a happier person.
And I'm not saying that I'm not passionate about my life. There are three things that I'm seriously passionate about.
That is being a partner, being a dad, and music.
Those are the only three things that I have ever absolutely been passionate about.
I think that stems from my childhood. I don't think I ever had a good role model as far as being a good partner.
As far as being a good dad. And music itself was something that always helped me, even from a young age.
I remember the first rap album I ever heard. I was talking about that the other day with my girlfriend.
I think about it, that might not have even been the first rap album that I ever heard, because my dad used to play rap.
Me and him, we did some stuff to obtain this explicit bootlegged version of the Nelly Country Grammar album. Oh man, we was listening to that until we had it all memorized.
Yeah, music has always been a major passion of mine, and other than music, the only other passions I have in my life are being a partner, which I'm very proud of. My lady makes me realize that
I'm still growing as a person. She makes me realize all the time, like, hey, this is the sort of stuff that you do. This is how it makes me feel when you do those things. And that's the kind of relationship people need, because I am the kind of person that does not necessarily want to change to be who other people want me to be. I just want to be an authentic me, and if you like me for me, you like me. If you don't, then I don't really care.
But when it comes to my partner, or when it comes to being a dad, I do.
And she communicates with me when I make her feel a type of way. She doesn't, we might have like little moments or tiffs or whatever, but we're very passionate people, especially when we have a difference of opinions. I talked with her about it. She's always been pretty supportive. I'm not too sure how familiar with my music she actually is, because at the time we met, I really wasn't producing my own music anymore, and I only produced one song since me and her have been talking. I don't know if she ever went and listened to any of my music. I remember she listened to Sweet Dreams in the end when it came out. I've been going crazy with some writing.
Jesus, fucking goddamn ums. That actually just kind of leads me right into the next talking point.
I'm gonna have to trim out a bunch of this fat.
I've been really going crazy with my writing.
As far as this channel is concerned, it's always been more of a personal channel for me. That's why I was always posting things like freestyles and whatever. Yeah, I would post my music here when I would make it, but that's just because I didn't really have like an artist channel
that has the same name as all of the other things.
If anybody didn't notice, there are some updates to like the channel description.
If you also didn't notice, I'm not going by as Aaron Reaper Sword anymore. Reaper
was a name that an old friend gave me, and that's the only reason. Like, I used to freestyle with him, and I got the name Reaper because I don't know, he called me that one day, and I just kind of rolled with it.
I appreciate that part of my life. It helped me grow as a person.
As far as this channel, I'm not inherently sure all the different kinds of content that will be uploaded to this channel.
I do have some ideas in the works.
I just would like to talk about a few things more before wrapping this video up. One thing, music. At this point, I've rebranded myself to As Is. A little while ago, I was freestyling something, and I just said the phrase, "You can take me as is." And the more I thought about that, the more that really related to me.
And then the more I thought about it, the more that As Is, Aaron Sword, AS, is prominent in both of those. The word as itself is my initials.
So it just kind of fell in line.
You may notice the new logo on the channel. That was done by Matt. Matt is withdrawn.
You can check him out on Instagram. He does really dope artwork. I've worked with him a few times, even back under my old artist name.
I will probably continue to work with him. And
yeah, so moving forward, right now I am in the works of tons of singles.
I'm coming up with ideas for content I have filmed a couple. I'm working on different ideas for content for this YouTube channel,
which will come up later at a certain point. I got a few video ideas in the works right now.
But as far as music, at the moment, I have nothing to record with.
So I finally just got my computer back. I believe when I recorded the rest of this video, obviously it's a different day, I'm wearing different clothes, but I believe when I recorded the video, I did not have this yet. I've been editing that video for a couple of weeks now. But I now have a computer. I fully have my studio set up. I'm about to open this up, and what follows is a culmination of finally getting this back.
I've linked up with a local producer of mine that's a friend of mine. The moment I started thinking about getting back into music, he was one of the first people I hit up and was chit-chatting with him. And
you, bro, no bullshitting. Fucking edit this fucking video, you fucking lazy bitch.
I think a lot of this stems from, like, I'm just being completely real,
the amount of anger I have lately with where I'm at in life. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not in a bad place. I don't really struggle. Like, between me and my girlfriend, we pretty much afford 2 homes, so we're not necessarily struggling.
But I'm in a better place now than I was before.
And I want to try and build something that I can be proud of, and that people in my life they can look at me and just be like, oh man, he's fucking doing something, you know? Like, he's doing more than just going to work every day, you know? He's got drive, he's got ambition, he's got passion. He wants to build something that doesn't only benefit him, but it could potentially benefit tons of other people. And I like that I happen to just lead right into that, because we can stray away from talking about my music.
One last thing as far as that, as far as is concerned, my stage name and my music, that will be posted on a separate channel eventually, inevitably, and then I gotta drive traffic there and build that.
So that's in the works too, setting up new everything as far as that.
And we're moving right into the next topic. Ruby Cloud Entertainment, if anybody's new, is pretty much a passion project that I've been working on for a very long time, since soon after the inception of me starting music or anything like that.
Ruby Cloud Entertainment, to some capacity, is just I guess the best way to describe it would be a media company.
Like, we don't do anything yet. Right now, I've got lots of ideas. We don't technically have an artist yet because I'm not recording. We do have Ruby Cloud Radio.
It is the main passion project that I am working on right now, other than music.
I've been talking about it for, I think, the better part of 4 weeks now. And basically, in layman's terms, and to just cut and dry it,
I'm building a team of people to review music. If the music reviews well, it gets placed on Ruby Cloud Radio. It's a playlist that I would like people to share with others if they're listening to it. Check it out. There's going to hopefully be an influx of reviews coming in. We've already had at least, heck, actually, I can check right now.
We've already had at least 40, since starting this, we've already had 46 submissions or recommendations from other people or other people in the review team that have pretty much said, yeah, I'd like to review music with you. So over the course of the last 4 weeks or so that I've been messing with this, we've been able to generate, I've been working on this playlist for years actually, but since I've actually started promoting the playlist and not just nonchalantly being like, hey, if you want to listen to new music, check out this playlist, and I send it to somebody.
Now that I'm actually, to some capacity, promoting this playlist to other artists, it never used to be about that. It used to be, oh, I would find this artist, and then I'd really mess with it. Or somebody would hit me up on Instagram and be like, oh, hey, check out my music. I would check it out, and if I messed with it, I would add it to the playlist. And then I would just regularly stream it. You know, that helps the artist. I get new music because, like, let's be real here. Who regularly has artists hitting them up trying to listen to new music? I think that is such a cool world that we live in. 10, 15 years ago, you'd have to go to somewhere like, you'd have to go to like a music capital, like somewhere like Detroit or like LA. Now I can just hop on freaking
Instagram, scroll down a page, and then next thing you know, I can see 5 or 6 artists that potentially don't get very much engagement. And I'm like, oh, well, what's going on here? Let me check this guy out. And then I check it out 9 times out of 10.
9 times out of freaking 10, the person is talented.
Like, that's so crazy to me that Actually, it's not crazy to me because I've been doing a lot of research into what it takes to potentially make it as an artist these days. And you get lots of conflicting information.
People want new music. People like hearing new music. People like discovering new artists. That's what I want to build. I want to build a platform utilizing YouTube mainly because I've noticed a lot of artists really rely on things like Spotify and all of these other platforms, and then their YouTube is real lacking.
So when they drop a music video, the music video is not doing the same numbers necessarily, unless they crazy promote it, as their Spotify streams or their Amazon Music or whatever the case. And I'm not saying that is like a jab at those platforms or anything, because those platforms are great for getting artists' names out there if you can get into any of those editorial playlists.
What I'm saying is I want a platform, and I've seen tons of platforms like this. I've been reached out to by platforms that are pretty much very similar to the idea that I have. But 9 times out of 10, they want moolah. They want something from you to do the thing.
But anyway, that's beside the talking point. So if you are a fan of me, if you've ever liked or supported anything that I do, if you could go to the playlists on my channel, this channel here, and check out Ruby Cloud Radio. That's all. Click the shuffle play, use it like a radio station. We went from, since I started talking about it, 13K streams on that playlist to approaching 16K streams in a month. And if we can ramp this up,
we could seriously garner some numbers for some artists that just don't get a lot of love.
It would just be amazing overall to share these songs that I listen to pretty regularly myself. This is a play, like some of the songs are new to the playlist because they've just been added. A lot of the music on the Ruby Cloud radio station does not get tons of love.
Some of the songs, in fact, I'm the only one who's been listening to them for years. And that's just crazy to me. That's super crazy to me. But I'm glad to be back. Let's freaking build. If you guys got content ideas, a couple of them that I can just shoot out to you that I know that I'm going to be doing.
On TikTok, I'm going to be doing content ideas for making songs with the people that follow me. I thought that would be a really dope way to engage people. I've seen other artists do something very similarly.
Building songs using comments from the comment section is something that I want to do. Interviews. I was thinking about quick Snapchat interviews if I could get artists on board to where I can send them some Snapchats and then I can save all these Snapchats, splice them together, and then we can make some quick interviews for like TikTok or something where I'm just asking some off-the-wall questions to artists or just asking artists certain things and then just giving that content to people.
I think that I am capable of impressing people if they just give me a chance, And if anybody, sees this, if you're new, that's awesome. I hope you stick around. I hope you like the video. I'm sorry if it ended up being a long one. If you're an old supporter of mine, I appreciate you coming back. I know it's been a long time. And yeah. I hope everybody has a great day. And I'll see you next time.
Ooh, buddy.
You're just afraid, baby, no, I'm not. You're gonna leave me, baby, no, I'm not. You're all I've got, baby, no, I'm not. No, I'm not, baby, no, I'm not, yeah.